Buenas tardes a todas las personas que se están conectando. Muchas gracias. Espero que me puedan escuchar bien. Estoy con unas dificultades técnicas, pero gracias por conectarse nuevamente. Gracias por acompañarnos. Estamos hoy en una charla más del ciclo de charlas que estamos teniendo con los aliados estratégicos de BECAL. Vamos a estar hoy comentando sobre las oportunidades de maestrías y doctorados en la Elliott School of International Affairs de la George Washington University en Estados Unidos, específicamente direccionadas hacia los funcionarios públicos. Yo soy Belén González, soy responsable de planificación y relaciones interinstitucionales en el programa BECAL y me alegra mucho darles la bienvenida a este webinar. Nos acompaña la señora Fátima Franco, la coordinadora general del programa BECAL, y Claire Hardiman, que es la representante de la Elliott School of International Affairs de la George Washington University. Ellas nos van a estar comentando un poco sobre las opciones de estudio, los requisitos, los beneficios para estudiar con becas. Antes de comenzar, les recuerdo que si no completaron el formulario de preregistro que enviamos para que ustedes puedan acceder a esta charla, pero si quieren recibir más información, pueden dejar sus correos electrónicos en el chat de este Teams. Y también si tienen alguna consulta, no importa si la pregunta está en español, nosotros, puedo hacer tanto Fátima como yo, podemos hacer la traducción y hacerle llegar a Pierre su consulta. Bueno, sin más, yo paso, le cedo la palabra a la coordinadora.
Muchas gracias, Belén. Un saludo a Claire, un saludo a todos. Voy a compartir mi pantalla para hacer una breve presentación de lo que es el Programa Nacional de Becas Carlos Antonio López. Bueno, el Programa Nacional de Becas Carlos Antonio López es un programa que se enfoca hacia la excelencia académica y está enfocado a egresados universitarios que desean realizar sus estudios de posgrado, en este caso en el exterior. El objetivo del programa es contribuir y potenciar áreas en la ciencia, tecnología, innovación e investigación. Al día de hoy, bueno, nosotros, BECAL está cumpliendo, justamente en este 2025, está cumpliendo 10 años de vigencia en Paraguay, de implementación de este programa como una política pública, y tenemos más de 3.500 becarios seleccionados en algunas de las modalidades de beca que ofrece el programa. Estos becarios están representados, o sea, vienen de todas partes del país. Entonces, BECAL tiene un alcance nacional muy importante. Al día de hoy contamos con 681 becarios que están activos en todas partes del mundo. Podemos ver que tenemos becarios en Estados Unidos, becarios en el Reino Unido, en Australia, Nueva Zelanda, en España. Todos estos becarios están al día de hoy realizando algún estudio de posgrado en su área de especialización. ¿Cuáles son los requisitos para acceder a una beca de BECAL? Es ser paraguayo o un extranjero naturalizado, poseer un título de grado y toda la documentación que acredite ese título de grado, y reunir todos los documentos necesarios para la convocatoria. Justamente ahora, en el mes de marzo, abrimos las convocatorias para los posgrados en el exterior, y esta convocatoria va desde el mes de marzo hasta el mes de mayo. Luego, en el mes de junio, los becarios son comunicados de la lista de selección, y estos becarios posteriormente inician sus estudios en el segundo semestre del año. Lo importante a destacar es que en las convocatorias de BECAL, para cualquiera de las modalidades, no hay un límite de edad para postularse. Entonces, las becas están disponibles para todos los paraguayos. ¿Cuáles son las oportunidades de posgrados que se pueden realizar a través de BECAL? Uno puede realizar maestrías, doctorados, postdoctorados, y también está la posibilidad de realizar la movilidad internacional de grado, que es realizar un semestre de intercambio en el exterior, sobre todo en áreas donde se priorizan la ciencia, la tecnología, ingeniería, medicina, ciencias agrícolas, todas áreas que son justamente prioritarias para el desarrollo de Paraguay. Las modalidades de convocatorias que tenemos habilitadas ahora, como la que había comentado que abrimos en el mes de marzo, es a través de la postulación autogestionada, en la cual el postulante interesado debe contar con una carta de admisión en la universidad de destino, y eso, digamos, teniendo en cuenta los criterios de excelencia que establece el programa. Estos criterios de excelencia se miden a través de los rankings internacionales en los cuales están posicionadas las universidades. Entonces, lo primero que tiene que hacer un interesado es entrar en contacto con la universidad, identificar el programa al cual quiere realizar y solicitar una carta de admisión al programa. Los criterios de excelencia, como ya he mencionado, se miden a través de los rankings de las universidades, y para las maestrías consideramos 3 rankings, que son el ARWU, el QS World University Rankings, el ranking de The Times, y para doctorados consideramos el ranking de ANIT Chile. Entonces hay que ver cómo están posicionadas las universidades dentro de estos rankings de acuerdo a los criterios que establece BECAL para esta modalidad autogestionada. Las becas son, en el caso de las maestrías, la duración de los beneficios es hasta 24 meses por un monto máximo de $50.000, y en el caso de los doctorados, por un monto máximo de $90.000 y hasta un máximo de 48 meses se pueden otorgar los beneficios. Para postdoctorado serían $30.000 y un máximo de 24 meses. Y para la movilidad internacional de grado sería un semestre, 6 meses y un monto máximo de $10.000. Estas becas son becas completas que pueden incluir los beneficios de matrícula en el programa de estudios, seguro médico, manutención, pasajes, visados, una asignación de instalación, asignación también para compra de libros y materiales académicos, y finalmente una asignación para el regreso. Entonces las becas son becas completas que pueden cubrir todos estos beneficios. Las postulaciones para las becas se realizan totalmente en línea a través del sistema de postulación a instrumentos del CONACYT, y en cada convocatoria se lanzan guías de bases y condiciones que establecen todos los documentos que se requieren para postular. Entonces, lo primero que uno debe hacer es leer en detalle la guía de bases y condiciones, y luego juntar todos los documentos que se requieren y abrir una postulación en línea para adjuntar todos los documentos y todos los requisitos de la postulación. Entonces, no es necesario acercar documentos a BECAL, todo el proceso se realiza en línea. Entonces, eso quería comentarles un poco sobre lo que es nuestro programa. And now I will give the space to Claire. Claire, I would like to comment on my presentation that this year is a special year for us, for BECAL, because we are turning 10 years already. We have more than 3,000 scholars that already finished some of the type of studies that they did abroad. So they are now contributing to Paraguay, to the development of Paraguay. So it's something very special for us, and it's something that we need to celebrate. So that's something that I wanted to mention about my presentation. And
Yeah,
now we are here to listen to your presentation about the program and the university.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you so much. Hopefully you can all hear me. I'm going to share my screen right now. Let me just make sure that it's the right one. One moment while I share my screen. Okay.
I will take the opportunity to say once again in Spanish that if they have any questions in Spanish, I can translate them. Me gustaría comentarles de nuevo que en caso de que durante la presentación de Claire tengan alguna consulta en español, no tengan miedo de dejarla en el chat, que vamos a estar traduciendo para que puedan pueda responderles cualquier consulta que tengan. Go ahead.
Okay, awesome. Can you all see my screen, my presentation? Hopefully, yes. If you can't see it, let me know. Okay, awesome. So yeah, thank you for having me here at the session today. Just to reintroduce myself, my name is Claire Hardiman. I'm the Assistant Director of Graduate Admissions at the Elliott School of International Affairs, which is part of the George Washington University in Washington, D.C. I've given a couple of these BECAL info sessions in the past. We have been partners with BECAL for, I believe, like a year and a half now, and we have one current BECAL student in our program and another incoming. So we're happy to still have this program going and hopefully open it up to more interested students. Yeah, so for the info session today, first I'm going to go over some details of the program that our BECAL students complete, which is our MIPP, or Master of International Policy and Practice. Then I'll give you some information about the Foundation for Elliott School Degrees, our application requirements and deadlines. I'll have space for questions at the end. The BECAL fellowship information you already received, so a little bit out of order, but that's our agenda for today. So the program that our BECAL students complete here at the Elliott School is our Master of International Policy and Practice, or the MIPP. So the MIPP program is our mid-career program. It's a little bit shorter than our typical master's degree option. So it's a 27 credit program, and it can be completed in 12 months as a full-time student or 3 semesters. It's built around 3 different academic pillars, and those are leadership, strategic design, and data analysis. Part of this program and our agreement with BECAL is that the students will begin the program in a fully online format, so you can stay in Paraguay for that first semester, and then you'll finish the program hopefully by coming to campus in Washington, D.C. and being able to live and study with us in our nation's capital. The prerequisite requirements for admission to this program include either having at least 7 years of full-time professional work experience or a prior advanced degree, such as a master's degree. So these are the main basic requirements for this program. And then this is a little bit more information about the program of study for the MIPP degree. So there are 3 different core courses that students in this program complete. There's one course in economics, and there's a few different options for this economics course, focusing in topics such as like international trade, international development economics, and international finance. And then there's a strategy and leadership seminar, which is the first kind of foundational class for the program. And then finally is the leadership capstone project. This is an individual project that every student will complete during the last semester of the program. So hopefully when you're here with us in DC, you'll complete your own individual research project based on your area of academic interest and specialization. So within the rest of the program of MIPP, students design their own specialization based on their academic interests and their professional goals. So you really have access to the full Elliott School course catalog to, pick classes that you're most interested in, depending on your job, your interest, what you're specifically interested in learning within the program. Some examples of these concentrations in the past have been conflict resolution, global gender policy, international economic affairs, security policy. Those are some of the different subject areas. I know with many BECAL students, you might be interested in international economic policy, and we have a great Institute for International Economic Policy here at the Elliott School as well, which can give students offerings for a lot of really great classes in international economics. So since we've gone over a little bit more about that degree specifically, I'll talk to you now about the foundation for all Elliott School degrees. So these are the different things that we've put together for our programs that help make our students successful, both during their time here and after graduation. The first of those is flexibility. So like I've said, the program is very flexible in terms of which classes you can take, how to design the program specifically around what area of interest you have within the field of international policy. All of our classes are taught in the evening, so after 5 p.m. Eastern time. And because there's not too much of a time difference between the US and Paraguay, that should still be relatively easy for you while you're online. You will still be able to work during the normal work hours and then come to class in the evenings. This gives students the flexibility to work if they already have jobs, or to take advantage of all of the opportunities here in DC during the daytime hours once you come join us in Washington, DC. The next thing is the capstone experience, which I talked a little bit about on the last slide. Like I said, this is an individual project that you'll complete at the end of the MIPP program. It basically takes the place of a required thesis. So it's more like a practical skill application, taking what you've learned in the classroom into a real world application and being able to kind of have something to show for everything that you've learned in the degree. And it's a great way to close out your academic experience with us. The last thing that I'll mention is our professional skills course offering. So these are 1-credit courses that students can take throughout their degree to build their skills in different areas, such as public speaking, memo writing, quantitative skills like data analysis, coding, things like that, different things that you might not get to explore in your typical core courses. But they're things that employers want to see in our graduates, and that will help you bring those skills back to Paraguay and help you in your professional careers and in your lives after graduation. So these are just some of the things that are built into all of our Elliott School degrees, regardless of the program, that really help set our students up for success. So I know that you know that we're located in DC. So like I said, we're part of the George Washington University. GW is located right in downtown DC. Our campus is located in the neighborhood of Foggy Bottom. To give you a better idea of that, we're located across the street from the US Department of State and the Organization of American States. We are also super close to the IMF, the World Bank. We're about 2 blocks away from the White House. Lots of different organizations very close to us that students have access to, in terms of there's a lot of really cool events happening all the time at the Elliott School. There are many opportunities for like site visits for students to have access to different, being able to explore all of these things in DC and have access to these types of people and organizations that have connections to campus and are coming to speak with our students. So yeah, this just gives you a little bit of an idea of where we are in DC and the kinds of connections that we have. So going on the topic of student success, these are all of the resources that our students have access to throughout their time as a student here and after graduation, for when you're an alumni for life. So there are 3 different people who kind of come together to bring this support team into effect. First is your academic advisor. This will be your resource for any questions about which classes you're registering for, how to pick your specialization, making sure that you are on track to graduate, things like that. The program director is the faculty director of your program. So for MIPP, that program director is Dr. Jennifer Cook. She is a professor. She's also the director of our African Studies Institute at the Elliott School. And the program director will really be your go-to person for academic questions related to the program and also for the capstone project. And then the last is career coaching. So I know that you all are working already, but career coaching is still a great resource to have access to. Within our Graduate Student Services office, students can access individual career coaching appointments. They can do resume workshops, help with kind of skill building there, do mock interview and site visit sessions, take different like assessment tests to find out what your greatest strengths are. But yeah, a lot of those resources can still be helpful to you, even if you're not currently in the job search process. They are still great things to take advantage of. So this is probably the most important slide of my session. So for applying to the MIPP program, and just to make it clear, MIPP, or the Master of International Policy and Practice, is the only program at the Elliott School that has this partnership with BECAL. So if you go on our website, you'll see that we have a lot of different other program options. The only one that you all are able to apply to within this partnership is MIPP. So that is the one and only program that applies here. But like I mentioned earlier, the prerequisite for this program is that you have at least 7 years of work experience or a prior advanced degree. You'll have to complete our online application. So the application is very straightforward. You can find it on our website, and I will put the link in the chat for that after this session as well. But with the application, you'll have to attach your resume. With your resume, make sure that you list all of the months of your different employment, so that we can make sure that you meet that 7-year work experience requirement. You'll also have to submit a short statement of purpose, which is a short essay, 500 words maximum, about why you're interested in the program, a chance for us to learn a little bit more about you as an applicant. Then there's also an additional 500-word MIPP essay. This essay is about a topic about a leadership challenge that you would hypothetically like to address. Pretty open-ended, also space for us to learn about kind of what your academic interests are. We will also ask for 2 letters of recommendation. So typically we ask for 1 letter of recommendation from an academic source and 1 from a professional source, meaning like 1 from a professor that you've had in the past and 1 from a supervisor. If you've been out of school for a long time and you don't have a close relationship with anyone from university, that is totally fine, and you're able to submit 2 professional recommendation letters if you wish. One of the most important things is that we need transcripts from all institutions that you've attended. So all institutions that you've attended at the university level. So from your bachelor's degree, your master's degree, if you already have one, any other programs that you've completed. All of these transcripts must be in English. We are not able to accept any transcripts that are not in English because we can't evaluate them. So if you don't have an English transcript from your bachelor's degree, you'll need to get a certified English translation, and that can be done by any certified English translator. As long as it's an official translation, you can send us the transcript that way. Our application process is test blind, so we do not accept GRE scores, which is a standardized graduate school entrance test in the US, not necessary for this application. The next, and one of the most important things as well, is the English language qualification, and I'll talk more about that on the next slide. I know this is a lot of information, so I'll leave my contact info, obviously, and our website after as well, and leave some space for questions. But going on to the English language requirement, all of the courses at the Elliott School are taught in English. All of the courses for this degree will be fully in English. So because of that, all applicants have to provide an English language test score by the application deadline. We accept the IELTS, the TOEFL, and the Duolingo tests. We pretty strongly recommend that you take Duolingo unless you already have a valid TOEFL or IELTS score ready. This is because it's a lot quicker and easier to take the Duolingo test. You can take it anytime online. It's also the cheapest option, so I definitely recommend this. It takes about 2 days after you complete the test to get results, so I recommend taking it as soon as possible if you're interested in applying. And these are our score minimums listed here. So this is the score that you must meet in order to be considered for admission. If you don't send us an English test score, or if you don't meet these score minimums, it's not possible to be considered for admission to our program. And this is just because this is a central requirement of the university because all of the courses are in English. I know, again, that's a lot of info and it might seem complicated. So if you have any questions, please let me know. But we just want to be, as clear as possible about the English test requirement. This is something that is necessary and required for the application. So the application deadlines for this cycle. So if you're interested in applying to start our program in fall 2025, our classes for the fall 2025 semester will begin in late August. The application will be due on April 1st. So we have a couple weeks. We are recommending that you try and get all of your materials in by this date. So that includes recommendation letters and English test scores. So those two things are probably going to take the longest amount of time. If you're interested in applying, I really recommend starting on these things as soon as possible, asking people if they're willing to write your recommendation letters, and then taking your English test score so that you know that you can meet that score minimum as soon as you can. We will then release our admissions decisions to you at the end of April because your deadline to submit the BECAL application will be May 2nd. What this means, as you learned in the BECAL session, is that once you get an offer of admission from us, you'll be able to complete and submit your BECAL application. So you do need to wait until you receive that admissions decision from us, which first requires that you submit all of these materials on the last couple slides. The next important thing is that you will all receive a fee waiver from attending this session. What that means is that you do not need to pay the application fee and it will be free to apply. When you get to the end of your application, you'll get to a space in the application that says request a fee waiver, and it'll have a drop-down menu. You'll select BECAL from the drop-down menu, and then your fee will be automatically waived, and you can submit the application without payment. So you don't need to go ahead and pay the application fee since it is free for all of you for attending this session. All right, so that is all for my presentation. I recommend that you just note down this email here, esiagrad@gwu.edu. That is our office email address, and that's the place to go if you have any questions about the application. We definitely recommend that you send us an email as soon as a question comes up, and then we will be completely happy to answer it there. And I'm always available to answer any questions that you may have. I'm gonna stop sharing, but I also will put our website in the chat so that you can look around on that a little bit more. Yeah, hopefully, I know that is a lot of information, but appreciate you all for sitting through it. Please let me know if there's any questions, and like you said, you all can translate as well. I'm going to put in the chat here right now our office website. Yeah, I think it just went through. So that is where you'll find the application, and we have a how to apply page that lists out the steps of the application process really clearly. There's also a video that goes through the application process. You can see actually on the video how it's done. So I recommend looking at that if this sounds all confusing from the presentation. That will hopefully make things a little bit more clear to you. The last thing I'll put in the chat is our international applicants page. And this has information about our English testing requirements and also links out to all of the English tests that we accept. But yeah, thank you all for inviting me to the session, and I'm happy to answer any questions now. Hopefully that makes sense. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Claire, for your presentation. It was very helpful. I think a lot of people will appreciate this a lot. That's a lot of information, but that's the best way to go to have the information right from the start. I'm gonna switch to Spanish. Muchas gracias a todos por estar aquí presentes nuevamente. Si tienen alguna consulta, duda, etcétera, pueden dejarlo en el chat o hacerlo a viva voz. Estamos aquí para responder sus consultas, tanto Fátima como Claire como yo.
I have one question. So Claire, you mentioned that the application is due April 1st. So I want to ask you something about this admission letter, how much time it will require for the university to provide this letter to the interested student or potential scholar?
Yeah, I can answer that. Sorry, my cat is behind me. But yeah, so once students apply with us by April 1st, and we give a few days on that end in case any materials are missing for them to submit anything. Like if we find anything that's missing, then they can submit them back to us. We will get admissions decisions like acceptance letters out to students by, I believe, the end of the 3rd week of April. So we'll get those out by April 25th is the deadline that we have for ourselves to release the decision. So that's when students will receive them. And then they'll have that week in between to submit their BECAL application, since their application with you, I believe, is due May 2nd. So that gives you a little bit of time to get the admission letter from us and then be able to complete the BECAL application on your end.
Y Fátima le preguntó cuánto tiempo se demoran en mandar las cartas de admisión, dado que es un requisito para postular con BECAL. Y Claire le dice que 25 de abril es cuando ellos van a estar enviando cartas de admisión a los postulantes que se postulen al MIPP program, la Escuela Internacional de Empresas. Así que para tener en cuenta también esa fecha de poder reunir todos los documentos que pidió Claire de manera a que todas tengan la carta de admisión. Aquí Gonzalo Escauriza dice: muy buenas tardes. Antes que nada, quiero agradecer la presentación. Quisiera en realidad hacer una pregunta sobre la convocatoria patrocinada de ahora, enfocada a los funcionarios públicos. ¿El Banco Nacional de Fomento es una institución elegible? Pregunta. Estoy reuniendo los documentos y lo único que me falta es justamente la aceptación de la universidad, pero ya tengo una carta de preaceptación provisoriamente, ya que tener la aceptación todavía va a demorar.
Sí, Gonzalo, sí, totalmente puedes aplicar a la convocatoria de funcionarios públicos y mientras estás gestionando tu carta de admisión ya puedes ir abriendo esa postulación en el SPI, completando todos los documentos y una vez que cuentes con todos los requisitos puedes enviar la postulación atendiendo al tiempo de cierre de nuestra convocatoria. Entonces sí, te animo a que puedas completar la postulación y juntar todos los documentos.
Virgilio Medina pregunta: ¿esta aplicación pertenece a la modalidad autogestionada?
Sí, sí, exactamente, porque hay que gestionar esa carta de admisión a la universidad. Con esa carta de admisión uno aplica al financiamiento de BECAL. Entonces hay que tener en cuenta esa modalidad de beca.
Víctor Cano pregunta: ¿cuánto tiempo es la formación presencial en Washington? ¿Cuánto la virtual en Asunción? ¿El requisito de permanecer 5 años en el país?
El requisito de retorno sí se mantiene para esta modalidad. también, siempre que uno es becario de BECAL, tiene un requisito de permanencia en el país. Creo que la pregunta anterior podemos dirigirla a Claire
Sí,
sobre el tiempo de formación.
Claire, there's a question here about how long the program is. How long is it in Washington, and how long would it be virtually in Asunción? That's what the person is asking.
Yeah, so the program is 12 months, so 3 semesters. So typically, if students start in the fall of 2025, they'll have the fall semester that they can begin online in Paraguay, and then they'll have the spring semester, which they have the option to come to campus for that spring, and then also the following summer. But I believe they also have the option to like continue online and then only come into DC for the final summer. But they'll start the fall semester online, and then after that can come to campus for that spring and then the summer as well.
When does the spring semester start?
The spring semester will start in mid-January.
Mid-January, okay. So, Víctor dice que el fall semester, que sería el semestre de otoño para Estados Unidos, sería de septiembre a mediados de enero aproximadamente, se puede hacer de manera virtual. A partir del semestre de primavera, que le dicen desde mayo, desde enero hasta marzo, abril, puede uno ir al campus allá en Washington, o puede también hacerlo todo virtual. Entonces, pueden irse solo para el semestre de verano, que sería ya la última parte del programa, dado que el programa dura un año. En este programa en específico. Gonzalo, que ahorita tiene otra consulta, dice, una consulta más, la carta de preaceptación puedo cargar mientras tanto al sistema SPI.
Sí, puedes adjuntar los documentos al SPI, solo tener en cuenta que según como la guía de bases y condiciones, sí establece o no justamente que para cuando tengas que finalizar esa postulación, envíes tu carta de admisión a la universidad.
Para complementar lo que dice la coordinadora Fátima, la carta de admisión puede ser condicional o incondicional, pero tiene que ser una carta de admisión. Y en caso de que resulte seleccionado, tendréis que presentar la incondicional para la firma del contrato. Virgilio Medina tiene otra consulta, dice, los 7 años de experiencia es un requisito excluyente, porque tengo acumulado 2 años de experiencia, entonces tengo esa duda. Esta pregunta sería para Claire, ¿verdad? Porque los 7 años de experiencia son... So Claire, there's a question about the amount of years of experience. This person is saying that they have only 2 years of experience, not 7. So they're asking if that's exclusionary, if they cannot apply to this program if they don't have the 7 years.
Yeah, correct. So unfortunately, the only program that we have in partnership with BECAL right now is this mid-career program, partially because of the length of the program. And this mid-career one is the only 1-year program option that we have. If they don't meet the eligibility requirements, meaning that they don't have at least 7 years of work experience, and they also don't have a prior master's degree. So if they already have like either a former master's degree or like a law degree, something else past a bachelor's, that could make them eligible. But if they don't meet either of the requirements, it's not possible, unfortunately, at this point to do this program. They can always apply if they're interested in like just doing a master's degree with us. We have 8 different MA options that they are welcome to apply to, but it just wouldn't be with the BECAL scholarship component, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, they can also apply through BECAL to the other programs. It's not in the partnership, but they can also apply to BECAL because the university is in the top 3. So
yes, exactly.
Another. Yeah. Okay, so Vigilio, dice Claire que por una cuestión de que este programa está dirigido a personas que están como en mid-career, sería como que en una posición no senior, pero sí, digamos, como jefatura,
Con experiencia.
coordinación. Sí, con un poco más de experiencia. Este programa en específico, entonces, está orientado a este tipo de personas. Sí se mantiene ese requisito de 7 años de experiencia, pero hay 8 programas diferentes dentro de esta facultad en donde vos podés fijarte los requisitos también. Este está en nuestro convenio, pero igual vos podés postular a los otros programas que sean de tu interés dentro del link que justamente puso Claire en el chat. Con BECAL, porque la universidad está dentro de las 300 mejores, entonces vos podés fijarte si esta opción no cumplís los requisitos que pone la universidad para este programa en específico, podés fijarte en las otras opciones de los programas que tiene esta universidad para poder aplicar a través de ella. Entonces no habría problema por ese lado. Okay. No sé si alguien más tiene alguna consulta, duda, comentario. Me parece que no tenemos más consultas. I think we have no more questions left. So thank you very much again, Claire, for your time, for your patience, for explaining everything. It's been wonderful, and you are welcome here in Paraguay anytime.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I that would be amazing. But thank you. Yeah, thank you for having this session. And again, I'm available to answer any questions. If people end up applying as they fill out the application process, I'll put also my email in the chat. If anyone wants to reach out to me, and also our office email that they can contact either of these with any questions.
Ahí dejó Claire su correo y el correo también de la facultad. Por si tienen alguna consulta, duda, le pueden enviar ahí a través de esos correos. Muchas gracias, coordinadora Fátima, por estar acompañando una vez más.
Muchas gracias. Thank you, Claire. It was so good to meet you and share this webinar with you. And muchas gracias a todos por asistir a este webinar y nos estamos viendo pronto.
Chao, chao. Gracias a todos.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Good night, everyone. Bye.